Alright, welcome back to Pro Cycling Manager. We are in our third season, at least at the start of our third season, with the preseason. And of course, we will go to the squad and make sure they're all starting with a decent condition out of the winter training. I always put them at very high. They don't really get an increased fatigue, so why would you take a lower preseason? So anyway, let's accept that. Then we have the R&D for the NV wheels, not for the Decathlon bike anymore, unfortunately. Let's see what we're gonna do here. Not the 2026 one. Yeah, maybe the 75, just to get a bit more aero. The other one seems fine in a way. So yeah, I'm just gonna focus on the aero here. Honestly, if I would design this game, I would actually tell what these stars do. I assume you get an in-game bonus for the flat stats, for example, for aerodynamic, for the climbing stat, for the lightness, but there's no real indication what it does. So if they could connect this to a number, that would be amazing. Unfortunately, it doesn't really go like that, but anyway, let's just start with a total redesign of the model 75 here. Then the scouting page, of course. We still only do the scouting here for our Icelandic riders. Look at that, a 3-2. We started at a 1-1. And as you can see, Rasmus Storm got that increase in his knowledge. So now he has the maximum knowledge, and we also have the maximum knowledge of the territory, which in my book means that we will discover almost everyone. So let's hope we can discover Icelandic riders. Definitely now that there's gonna be a higher quality and a higher chance of them appearing as well. So I really hope we can get, I don't know, two or three riders from now on from this region at least every year. And then one more thing here. Bramson wants a new trainer, and since he's our main guy, we will grant him that. So let's fire Christian Andersen. Sorry, guy. Our lead rider wants you gone, so we're gonna have to do that. I'm just gonna go by salary. Let's see, how much do we actually have left over finances? Oh, we have quite a bit left over. So should we go for a legendary trainer? Maybe we should. Okay, let's see what we have here. Legendary modern trainers, because he has a modern training style. Do we have someone from a Nordic country? Doesn't seem so. So let's go for Gasparotto here. We're not gonna train any of the Norway riders, but of course we have to train Bramson, and we're also gonna train the other ones. I don't know if it gets a worse performance. I guess trainer is better than no trainer, but I'm not really sure what the difference is. Now, the next thing, which is a big one, is the calendar. Again, we have basically no race. We do already have a .pro race. This is a .pro race, the Tour of Norway. That's nice. It's something, I guess. And another one, the Arctic Race of Norway as well. Okay, so what I'm gonna try to do is, instead of just doing all the races, adding them to our calendar, no, I'll just do all of it again, like last time, and then just select which get accepted. Okay, I'll be back in a minute when we have the answer. Alright, before we go to the next day, what we already can do is make sure that we have our investments done. I will do that for, again, our main riders when it comes to the tire performance. we still have, when it comes to our projection, some money left over, which is about 350k. So let's already buy the tires. So now we have 290k left. The wind tunnel we have. And then we're gonna, for Bramson here, make sure we have the TTR skin suit and also the training bikes. And then buy those. We do actually have money left over for chain processing. The cobblestone classics don't really make sense for us even with a +2. I mean, we lost last year because our cobble stat was that shit, so maybe the 2 would do something, but we don't really have the money to do that. I am, however, gonna do the mechanical performance. So chain processing 1, the second one is too expensive for us, so we're just gonna buy that one, and then we should still have some money left over for the rest of the season. If we look at our finances, maybe right at the end we might go in the red, but it's definitely okay for now. The moment of truth then. Let's go to the next day and see what we can get. Wow, we got accepted by a lot of races. Okay, I will have my work there. Let's see, calendar. Okay, what I'm also gonna say, I don't want to be double booked at all. So I'm gonna make sure that I'm never double booked, because we only have 10 riders, so it's not worth it really. And then, of course, keep in mind that a one-day race is usually more worth it than a multiple-day race. Okay, welcome back. So what I propose to do is, since in the first part we don't really have a .1 race or a .pro race, but starting in the second part we have the Tour of Norway. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna play up until here and then come back live for the Tour of Norway to see if we can increase the popularity to 3. And then I will stop the episode after that one, and then I will play again until we have the Arctic Race of Norway. And lastly, in the last episode of the season, I will do the Tour de Langkawi. And apart from that, I'm just gonna do all the .1 and .2 races on my own, so I don't have to bother you with that. In the meantime, we will now plan our objectives for the season with all the riders. Stage races, .pro, Tour of Norway, Arctic Race of Norway, Petronas Tour. I just do all of them. Some of our riders are not gonna race those, but in general, we literally only care about Bramson anyway. So we're gonna do it that way because I don't want to bother too much with it. And then we'll select our riders as we go to make sure that all of them hit at least some of those objectives. And stage rages, the Tour de Sarja, and also I mean, actually we don't necessarily need one in June, July, since the Arctic Race of Norway and the Tour de Langkawi are separated quite a bit from each other. And then we go to the separate goals. I always, for an example, I always do this, so we train fully up there, and then we have a few days of rest. Not all of them, but a few days, and that's ideal, so they don't really drop to, let's say, 80, they drop to like a 90 something instead. Make sure they don't rest for more than 2 weeks, and that's fine. Then I'm gonna do it with the others as well. For the big races, I'm also gonna go with mostly Icelandic riders. If we need a 7 guy, I will add a Norwegian guy. But for the .pro races, I will try to do it with only Icelandic guys, since that's kind of the reason why we do this save, to make sure Iceland goes up and not just our team. So a bit of favorism there, but I think since that's a complete setup of the goal, it's fine. All right, I set up the calendar for Bramson, and as you can see, we're gonna race the full 100 days to make sure that we get to the top 100, because that's the goal this year, to get to a training structure rating of 4. We need to have at least a top 100, and you know our rule system. If we get the goals I set, we will save scum. Otherwise, it will take up to more than 200 years to get to a training structures of 10. So what kind of my headcanon is here is that whenever we reach these goals, the Icelandic government will invest in, you know, materials, in training facilities for our youngsters, and that's the way we're gonna get that up. So I know maybe it's not perfect for everyone, but to be honest, I just don't have the time and the patience to play this game for 200 seasons with a chance, a very small chance every year to get that popularity, to get that training structures updated. It's the way I like to play it, and otherwise really I don't really have fun in my game, and in the end that's what it's all about. Okay, let's see you at the next .pro race, and of course, as you know, if anything interesting happens, I will update you on the results of that. Short update, we already have an Icelandic rider the first day that our scout is at work. Unfortunately, they're not old enough, so yeah, we can't sign them, but this is already a good sign in comparison. Last times we always had to wait to even find our first rider, so this is already a good sign that the popularity of cycling is actually working. Short update, which I saw right before we're about to start our first race ever for, well, our first race for this year. We got an improvement for our main rider, Bramson, to a 69 hill stat. We are, I think, about to get our first ever green stat in the near future for an Icelandic rider, which is absolutely an amazing feeling. So really looking forward to that. Alright guys, very good news here. We got our first youngster that we actually scouted, and we're of course gonna observe them. He will be signed anyway, but still, we got the first one. The others, unfortunately, the 16-year-old, they're still too young to join us, but it does mean that we will have at least one new rider coming in next year. I am super hyped about that. In the meantime, we also came fourth in a .2 race. It was quite a tough race with one hilly stage and one time trial, but actually in the time trial we overperformed. In my opinion, we came in 6th, and then also in the mountain stage at the end we came in about 7th, I think. But as you can see, all the riders above us have a green or yellow rating, and we don't even have that. So I think we definitely did a good job here. And in the general classification, we came in 4th. I believe that's around 20-25 points. So it's something, it's not super special, but it was actually quite a fun race to do. All right, we have an update on our scouted guy, Ingolfsson Elmar, and it's a 2-star right now. A 66 time trial stat and a 67 downhill stat. I think this looks like a decent GC guy, but of course we have to wait what his potential is gonna be. But this might be the first actual decent GC guy coming out of Iceland. And with decent, I mean, of course, maybe a 4-star, maybe 4.5, but that would already help us so much in the rise to become the best ever cycling country. Okay, another race with a good result. So we got Bramson here for a second place. We did get kind of a separation on the uphill here at the end, but unfortunately there was one guy who could follow our train and did actually make use for it to win it. I mean, he has a sprinting stat of 70. I have a sprinting stat of, I don't know, 57, so it's not a huge surprise. Also, his hill stat is as high as mine, so it's what was to be expected. Alright, another update on the scouting. Ingolfsson, Elmar here. Right now 3.5 stars, so that would mean that at least potential-wise it would be close to Bramson. So then we have 2 riders which we can choose from to be our best rider and to do our push for a better training structures. Of course, right now Bramson is higher, but depending on how this development goes, we might switch to Ingolfsson. Right, first win of the season is actually there. It's in a race we also won last year, as you can see here. We did already a good job. Unfortunately, the next one, we could lose, in theory, our first position. We have a small lead over Johnson, but Gamper is really close. So we really have to look out and see if we can win this stage race. Alright, as you can see, we won the first stage and we won the second stage with Bramson. That means we have in the general classification a first place for Bramson, which is good for points, but also Johnson got 2 times second, which is also good for points to get us up to the pro level. So super happy about this, but I kind of expected it. These kind of finishes really suit me against the AI because we can hammer it on the uphill, and usually they don't really use a train for this one. So this is one of the ways we can cheese a bit the fact that we're playing on the hardest difficulty here. So yeah, I kind of expected us to win here, but still I'm super happy. Alright, looks like we got all of the base stats here for Ingolfsson. That is quite a good medium mountain stat and hill stat to start off with. To be completely honest, flat isn't bad as well. Good time trial stats. The only thing that's a bit worse is a sprinting stat, but acceleration is actually quite fine. So I think this is gonna be a really good rider for us guys. Right, another race done. It's a hilly race and we ended up in second. I didn't have any teammates left at the end, so I just went on the last uphill, and unfortunately I got one guy in my wheel and he of course sprinted faster than me in the end, but it's better than ending up 7th while waiting for the others to attack first. So second place still gets us 30 points, I believe, so better than nothing. Alright, we finally have the full report on Ingolfsson. And as you can see, it's really just a stage race merchant. A lot of punchy, a lot of stage rage climber time trial stuff. And if we compare this to our main rider right now, I think we're gonna see quite a similar result, except he would be better in time trial and a little bit worse in hill stat. Also, the other guy would be better in Baroudeur, so I think as soon as he comes close to what we have for Bramson, I think we'll probably switch them around, because I think this guy has a better shot with the time trial stat at winning at least stage races. And apart from that, it looks quite similar, to be honest. Hey, we got great news again. So, as you know, we have scouted this dude here, Ingolfsson. He's from 2009. The guys who we can't sign are from 2010. But as you can see here, we have Friorix Dottir Axel. And he's actually also from 2009. Granted, he's from the last month of it, but we can still sign him. That means we are definitely gonna scout him. Cobbles and flat, not ideal, but worst case scenario, we have a great domestic to be added to our group. All right, we also finished a race here, 2.1 race. Unfortunately, it's a stage race, and the first stage was a team time trial, which we lost a lot of time in. I simulate these because I never knew how to play them, but still in the end we won one of the stages, so definitely a few points in the back. And then the next race is coming up. We will only ride it with our Icelandic contingent of riders. All right, Tour of Norway. Of course, the most important point here is get that popularity up. We want more riders, remember that. We want more riders. And secondly, of course, score points for Bramson. We start with a team time trial. No, excuse me. We start with a time trial, which in the second part is gonna be uphill. I'm gonna try it myself. I might fail horribly. And then the second race and the third and the fourth, we're gonna try to focus on winning a stage race. As you can see, who won last time, the opposition here is quite insane. This time Pogačar is not here, luckily, but still these stats, the orange stats, we don't even have a green one. So normally we don't stand a chance, but we can, with good tactics, achieve a victory or even a good position in the GC. We have a good race day condition that already helps. So let's go on 85 for the beginning. And then as soon as it goes uphill, at least 86. There we go. Maybe 87 already. Although that's going a bit too fast, I think. I think that's more or less all we could do, to be completely honest. I don't think anything better was possible. 135 on the 46th place. Yeah, pretty disappointing. I mean, if the champion of the world wins, there's not much you can do, to be honest. What we definitely can do is get a stage win, and that would be 20 points on its own. And also we would get the role that we so desperately need for our popularity improvement. Okay, welcome back. What I'm gonna do to get the win, we'll try to attack with Johnson. Unfortunately, he's quite far back. I'm gonna have Eriksson protect him at first, so hopefully we can make it. And then Bramson has an excellent day, so let's make sure he gets protected as well. Gunnarsson might be a better option to get over the mountain. Oh, actually, Gudmundsson is better, but he's not that great at speeding up. So, and then Johnson has to get to the front and then attack. Eriksson, you just stay back. If they let us go even. Oh, they don't. That's horrible. Okay, Bramson are losing spots. Maybe he should get to the front. I mean, we don't have anything to lose anymore, so just attack. Maybe it is impossible. They're going so freaking hard. And now they let them go, so maybe I can attack once more. This is scuffed. Jesus Christ. Gunnarsson is the only one that got over the top with us. I don't know if this is the best option, to be honest, but we need to go for a win. And we're so far behind in GC, so it might be the only option, to be completely honest. They are chasing us quite hard. Oi, 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 oi. Not very good at this. Oh, I just get dropped. This ain't it, Chief? Okay. Gunnarsson is also dropped. But got back to the peloton. Let's focus on Gunnarsson here. Let's choose a good wheel. Oh, Mathieu van der Poel is here, holy shit. Why are all the wheels I choose, they just immediately let go? Who is chasing Morgado? Let's pop our gel here. Yeah, even in the wheel we're dying. Yeah. Ulich wins 77 sprint stat. It's a brutal stage, but we got an 8th place in there for Breki Gunnarsson. Quite surprising that he survived, actually, considering his stats. And maybe I played this wrong, I don't know. I wanted to get into attack because I believe that this could be a long breakaway stage, but unfortunately it wasn't to be. The next one with a slight uphill at the end, I think we have a good chance to be at the front there with Bramson. So let's see if we can do that. And luckily for Johnson, we also have a fitness peak, just like for Bramson here. 2 stages to go. This one is officially flat, but I think in reality it's a hilly stage. And the last one is a cobble, so we probably won't be able to get anything done there. Maybe I'll try to attack with another team member. I'm gonna try to attack with Christine here. Come on, come on, come on. Let's open up. Oh, it seems like they're letting us go. So that's already a good sign. Now we have to get uphill here with Kristin Johnson. 4 minutes, that's already decent. Oh shit. Seriously? Why do they attack on me? I don't get it. I'm not gonna be able to... Oh, there they are. Why did they do that? I do not get that. Okay, 15k to go, and you know what that means. It means that Johnson falls, apparently. But no, we put on our train. It's a smaller one today. But we're gonna try our best with this group. Just stay at the front is the most important bit. And then you can just both try your best to get back, even though you will fail. Okay. Last bit coming up. I'm gonna try to go on 5 kilometers. Yeah, something like that. Full with Eriksson. And then we'll drop him to the last position. Gunnarsson is next. The last bit will be like, shit. Oh, for fuck's sake. Again, why are these guys so freaking fast? Johnson, 99. Still 1.5k to go. Actually, that's not too bad. Johnson in the attack, and then Bramson Oh. Might be too early though. Oh, come on! Come on! Yes! You're gonna win! You're gonna win! Put your hands up, man. Come on! Jesus Christ. Okay. And now we have to hope that the roll was good on the improvement of popularity. Holy shit, yes, we won. It didn't look good at the end there, but somehow it did. We came out of the bunch, dropped them, and had enough left over to get over the finish line first. Wow. Okay. Let's go. Let's cross our fingers here. Let's cross our fingers here. Great victory for the Icelandic guys. If I press on next, is there gonna be an email? There is! There is an email. Bramson contributed to the popularity of cycling and has increased the popularity by 1 point. It is now 3 points. We also have a fitness peak for Johnson, but it doesn't matter. This is the important one. This is so important for the continuation of our save. We will now have even more Icelandic people starting to ride their bikes. Oh man, I'm super glad about that. Our first win in a .pro race. And then immediately I'm gonna take another look at the rules. 2.pro. We have a stage victory, so that's also 20 points. Unfortunately, it will be kind of hard to get points from this. Maybe we can get into a top 40, but again, the points are not the important bit here. We have to get a top 10 in the Tour of Norway. We are horribly gonna fail at that. But we got a win. We got a stage win. Additionally, Frioriksdottir, Jesus Christ. We have his potential. It looks like he's only about to be a 3-star, but anyway, 2-star starting value is already better than a lot of riders we have. As you can see, a lot of around 60, so he will be a perfect domestique for us, definitely on the flats. In the mountain, it will be a little bit harder, but better than nothing, I guess. So I will also continue scouting him. 2 riders at least will join us at the end of the year. And then we should go to the last race of today. There we go. The last race. It's a slight uphill before the end. Maybe we can try to get some separation and go for even another win. Would be nice. But in the end, definitely not mandatory. We already got our improvement, and that's the most important thing. Okay, good day for Bramson here. Since we have our win and our upgrade, we're gonna fully focus for him to get another good result here and hopefully some points, although you can see at the end here there's cobbles, so probably it will be basically impossible for us to get a good finish here, but we're gonna try anyway. These kind of races are excellent for us to try and get some points. And good thing is our main guys do have a good race A condition, so who knows what's possible today. I'm not going into the attack anymore because I assume that they will be caught and we don't really need that stage victory anymore. Oh, for fuck's sake. Yeah, I mean, we're done. We're not gonna get that back. You know what? I'm gonna try with Dylan Johnson here because he's the best cobble to stay here. With the other ones, I'm gonna wait for Bramson. Maybe we can make it back, but I seriously doubt it. Maybe it's better if we just have a train, because this way we're just all sprinting against each other, which is not very good. Eriksson and Johnson, you can hang back for now. We're gonna have to try to get to the front. No, I don't think it's gonna be possible though. They're almost already over the top. Ah, sad life. I'm sure it will break here, but just in case, I'm gonna try to get Johnson. Oh, what happened here? Yeah, we fucked even this up. Ah, that's unfortunate. Stupid puncture. Ah, well. We got what we came for. That's the most important thing. We got that super important stage victory in a .pro race, which means we go to the scouting area and we select Iceland. We have now 3 training structures and 3 popularity of cycling in only our 3rd season. So, I mean, to be completely honest, I couldn't even ask for more if I wanted to. We already got past Finland now, and I would even say past Sweden, at least with our popularity. So, for next time, since this was the last race of the first bit of the season, for next time, I will skip these. These are not important for us. I chose the ZLM Tour. Why? If we go look at it, we will have seconds to gain at the different sprints. So I'm really gonna try to go for those. Unfortunately, we will start with 6.2 kilometer prologue. I'm not gonna do that one, but it's it's a better chance to gain some points, I believe, than the Tour de Gyeongnam. Even though this is mostly hilly stage, ZLM, if we do well, will net us a lot more points. Might be the wrong choice, but I'm fairly certain it's the right one. And then the nationals, gonna skip these. You know what's gonna happen. I'm gonna favor Bramson to win. And then just gonna continue playing those races to end next time with the Arctic Race of Norway in August. So that will be kind of a shorter period time-wise for the next episode. Anyway, you know what's up for the next episodes. I hope you had a great time. This again is a passion project for me, so if you liked it, like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff, and see you next time.